But yeah, anyway, I won't like overread like some of this stuff. Obviously, they've talked about like the new Junkenstein's Laboratory. We know it's going to be the season of Spellbinders, which is really cool. Overwatch 2, My Hero Academia will be the 17th, which is Thursday. Halloween Terror, which I've always liked Halloween Terror. It goes back to my question again. Can we get archives back for just like one season, please, so I can just be a completionist on my achievements? I know there's not a ton of people who do completionist runs in Overwatch or in general, but like I need archives to be able to finish my stuff. Like if I will never be able to finish my achievements if they never re-release archives. My guess is that it just got lost or like they can't do it, right? Like you know how they like made like a new engine and everything? Something probably hacked up and they just can't bring it back. They'd have to redo it or something. Hero Mastery, they add Cassidy and Brig, which I still like the option of Hero Mastery. Some people are like, oh, why are they doing Hero Masteries? I think they're good to have. I think for new players especially who are just trying to learn heroes or like try to like learn basic things, I think that's totally fine. I think having any type of mode that can like give players an option just to be able to chill out if they want to relax and just learn how to do something or maybe like go for a goal, I'm okay with that. I like these. Yeah. I think this is the best they have for trials. This is probably the best they have for like learning the game for players outside of just playing the game itself. Like the tutorial's like 8 years outdated, right? So obviously we have the general updates to the scoreboard, which I mean I love the volume feature. I think the whole scoreboard feature they showed in the dev blog was the dev video I thought was really cool. I have nothing really I can. One thing that is for sure, Overwatch 2 on launch in comparison to Overwatch 2 as of today, which is a little bit over 2 years ago, has been, once again, we're not going to talk balance. They've added so many good quality of life changes and good things to the game. I think it's gotten a lot better. Once again, we're not going to include balance in that because I think on balance side of things, like there's always going to be difference of opinion. Some players will be really aggressive about it. Some players will be fine with it. Some players just don't care. Like some players just enjoy the game regardless. So I try not to go too much of that one, but I think like from a quality of life point of view and like all the features are added back into the game or added to the game in general are really good. And as we've seen, like, you know, you've probably seen the recent stuff that was talked about with that where like they didn't really have a lot of time to do that because they were doing a bunch of other stuff. So you're starting to see Overwatch 2 become more of a game that has all these features that felt like they didn't exist and should have been in the game already. And recently, if you saw that stuff, matchmaking, tune-in changes to reduce queue times for wide matches. Nothing wrong with that. Being able to play with your friends. Lost streak avoidance turned down to prevent cases where it could increase worst case scenario queue times. Oh yeah, the lost streak avoidance is the one where they like give you an easier game. So I'm already added longer queues. I get that. Roll delta. It says we're not seeing any measurable impact from this tech in preventing lost streaks, and we're concerned it might be making queue times longer, so we're scaling it back for now. So basically what they're saying is it didn't really help in the way that they thought it would, so there's no point to have that option available because it just makes queue times longer. Seems pretty straightforward, right? Roll delta tune and tightened to try match ranks on the rolls on each team more closely. Once again, they kind of explain it there, but I'll give you an idea. Roll delta was, I think introduced about 6 months into Overwatch 2. Basically, roll delta just means that like if you're a 40, I was gonna say 4400, but if you're a gold 3 tank, it's gonna do its best to match you up against a gold 3 tank. Before it would be like, oh, you're a gold 3 tank, here's a gold 3 support. But like sometimes a gold 3 tank might be different from a gold 3 support, so like it's not gonna be fair and even. And then they'll give you like be like, okay, we'll give you a Masters 1 DPS and a Masters 1 tank. And it might still, the DPS might just dominate, right? So they wanted to make it so more match. So they say, we believe that match quality improves significantly when you are matched closely with one of the members of the opposing team in the same role. We believe we can tighten this preference without significantly impacting queue times, which obviously you don't want queue times, right? Queue times just feel bad, which was a problem they had in Overwatch 1 with 6v6. Okay, so at higher ranks, the effects of MMR decay, winning trend, losing trend, and calibration have been reduced. At our highest ranks, these modifiers can sometimes allow very high-skill players playing on new accounts to get lucky and surpass their peak ranks considerably without actually earning their new rank like other players that have played more in their accounts. I mean, this is a good change. This means basically they're trying to make it so like you actually have to play to be able to, like, before you could just like play a minimum amount of games and it would just like shoot you up the ladder and it would actually sometimes get past your other account and then people would camp. This is a way to like alleviate some camping issues. It will basically, what this does is they're basically saying like, listen, if you want to play in a new account in the ladder, you're going to have to win a lot more to be able to camp your rank at that point in the ladder. So they want you to earn that spot. At higher ranks, the matchmaker now takes into account the benefits of grouping when constructing matches. At the highest ranks, groups have had noteworthy advantages against the teams composed of all solo players for some time now. Our aim is with this addition isn't to remove the advantage of grouping at higher ranks entirely, but we like the advantage of grouping at higher ranks to be less extreme. This is something that's been an issue. I mean, you go up against 5 stacks, 4 stacks, 3 stacks. Like, I get it. I like stacking, though. I still think stacking is good because you get to play with friends. I like having that option. As anybody, are we getting drops when the new season comes out? I would say there's probably a really high chance, yes. So 2 p.m. Eastern is when drops will probably go. We don't know what the drops are yet. But yeah, this is just an issue that was like, it's very niche. These are very niche issues. Some people are like, what is this? It's very niche. This one says host in public games now requires endorsement level 3. I don't have to read all the developer comments. It's good. I mean, what the problem is that people post really dumb stuff and then they get banned, but then they can post it again because of their current setting. I think the only problem I have with the public custom game one for endorsement level 3 is there are players who like want to do like a weekly custom game or something with friends. I'm thinking of a niche thing, but that could also be a part of it. Like you like every week you play with your friends only in custom games, and like, you know, you're the one who hosts it, or like, you know, you make YouTube videos, but you don't really specifically play a bunch of the game. You just like to make videos through custom games, and you can't do it. So, oh, you're right. I see that. Anyone that is below endorsement level 3 can still host games with friends or invite only sends. Good call. I see what you're saying. Good call. I guess, yeah, I guess I don't really. I mean, maybe if like, okay, maybe if I want to make like a YouTube video and I don't want to add everybody to my friends list or something. But yeah, it seems very niche. I don't know. This seems. This is basically better than having people, because you see it happen every time. Somebody makes a really stupid lobby name. It rises to the top of there because they have their friends go into the lobby. It's a dumb name. They get banned for 24 hours. They log back in and they do it again. They log back in and do it again. So this basically, and if I'm correct, it says if they get action with a social pendant, they go to 0. So they have to get all the way back to level 3 again. So it basically prevents them from consistently doing it, right? Yeah, I guess you could do the battle tag thing too. So yeah, I don't really look at this like in a really negative way for most of it then. You know, it's funny, I go, I'm not going to read the dev comment of this one. Meanwhile, if I read the dev comment, it would have answered 85% of my questions. No, listen, I got to figure it out. Streamer mode, access to hide by name function. Streamer mode now requires the unrelenting hero, which is the, 750 wins or something, or 1,500 wins or something like that? 1,500 wins? I forgot what it was. This is the reason why they have to do this, because cheaters were using it a lot. 1750 wins? Yeah, so for this one, I think one of the confusing parts was that basically what ended up happening is a lot of cheaters would use this, and then people wouldn't know it's the same player after every game. It would just be a different streamer mode name. So they're trying to alleviate people on brand new accounts just like cheating and causing issues with the streamer mode. On top of that, like, you also had an issue where if somebody was cheating, like, let's say that you had garlic bread aimbot in the next game, there might be a garlic bread in your game, and everybody's like, that person's cheating. Oh, garlic bread's cheating, but like, it's just somebody else with the streamer mode name because they have streamer mode on. So that kind of alleviates two of the issues. So this basically means that, like, you know, people that will have a lot of wins and want to do the thing will be able to use streamer mode. So yeah. Challenge updates. Challenges are now in the main menu to highlight their rewards, primarily for new event challenges. Nothing wrong with that. Challenge rewards can now be inspected in the detail. Okay. Shop updates. Mythic Skin Aspect add-on cosmetic is now added to the Mythic Shop. Overwatch League Store tab was removed and replaced by a separate button. Okay, that's fine. Competitive top 500. Oh, I didn't know they were doing. Okay. Win requirement per season reduced from 50 to 25 for top 500. Chat, is this my moment? All 3 roles top 500. This could be it. I also like the season competitor challenge one. That's gonna make the leaderboard better. You said that's the Flats update? Oh, so you can min-max his leaderboard? Oh, yeah, I'm sure. He's probably... Flats is pumped about this. He can continue his camping. All right. Hero updates. General. Swapping your hero hides your selection on the enemy scoreboard for 15 seconds? What does that do? I don't get it. This change adds a more friction to counter-swapping, especially in the extreme case where 2 players in opposite teams are both sitting in spawn with the scoreboard open and rapidly switch their heroes in response to each other's choices. No, I get it prevents the instant counter swap, but it's kind of a weird. Doesn't this also strengthen? Couldn't this strengthen a counter swap though? Wouldn't that strengthen it? Because now, so like, let's say that I'm like on second point Dorado playing defense, and I'm like, okay, if they swap, I need to make a swap. But now, like, you won't know they're making a swap until you see them, so you're gonna be stuck on that hero into a counter swap. If I use my ultimate, couldn't I just sit and spawn and just like troll them? I don't know. I have no. I just random. I don't know. I don't really know what. Maybe it creates more mind games, like you said. I don't know. It's probably super niche and won't even be that much of an issue. I'm gonna be honest with you, but still. 1 second. I don't know. I think it's one of those things where like I'm not even gonna think it. I'll just see how it plays, and it's probably not even gonna be that much of an issue. Or it could be a huge issue, but I think it's fine. All right, we got into the buffs. Tank, oh, Mauga, love to see that. Incendiary chain gun, ignite damage over time, duration increase from 3 to 4 seconds. Actually, that's completely fine. Yeah, I'm not even mad about that. I'm shy. No, it's fine. Because, like, there's about 5 other changes they could have done on Mauga that would have been, like, terrible. For, like, other tanks. This just seems like it's just to make it so... This is... You said Flats was angry at this? Did he look at, like, the idea behind this part of it? Because, like, all that... This is just keeping up with the trend of, like... This is keeping up with the trend of what they're doing with tanks. They're trying to make it so tanks don't shoot the other tank. He doesn't like micro buffs, but this isn't a micro buff to do what they do to Orisa. This isn't an Orisa micro buff. This is a make it so this is trying to incentivize Mauga to go backline. It's the same thing they did with D.Va. It's the same thing they're doing with tanks now in general. They want you to go for backline pressure. And you're right, they will still shoot the other tank. I agree. But I don't think this will put Mauga over the top by any means. Because like if you're Mauga shooting the other tank, you're already going to have ignite damage on them the whole time. Like, but if you're just shooting the tank the whole time, it's not going to matter one bit, right? He's saying Mauga's already strong. Yeah, but like, my question to this is, what is it? This isn't making the tank versus tank matchup bad. Because if Mauga is shooting you the whole time, like Mauga will against the tank, you're going to be ignited the whole time anyway. Do you get what I'm saying? This is just to help with like backline pressure. I'm not saying I like when they go and buff Mauga. I'm just saying this is like the least of the problems for buffing Mauga. And you know, chat, I meme about micro buffs all day long. I meme about micro buffs all the time, but I don't think this is like should be like a super overreaction type of buff to Mauga. This is just basically saying, hey, if you shoot backline heroes, you'll have a better time now. Stop shooting the tank. That's what this patch note is. Now, if they said, hey, Mauga now has an extra second of cardiac overdrive, or Mauga's slam now stuns for an extra 1/10 of a second, or Mauga's ultimate, you get 15% quicker. Those are the micro buffs you need to worry about, right? Those are the ones you need to worry about. This is to incentivize backline pressure. Anyway, I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it. Maybe I don't look at this and go, oh no, Mauga's meta. I look at this and go, they just want Mauga to shoot at the people that's not the tank. You know what I mean? So the cycle continues. This Mauga change could break the Mauga becomes meta cycle. Because usually it would be Orisa, and then Mauga, and then Roadhog. But like this doesn't put Mauga over the top of any of the tanks. Am I wrong? Am I just seeing it differently, I guess? Like this just makes you shoot the backline more. That's all it does. It's like, because you're gonna ignite your tank no matter what, is what I'm saying. Like if I'm playing Mauga and there's a tank in front of me and I shoot the tank, it doesn't matter if it's 3 or 4 seconds. So, we'll see though. I don't think it puts Mauga over the top. Who knows though. Although, there's also a part where we've already seen Mauga being played a little bit in matches. Right? Like where like Mauga was kind of maybe already going in there, so maybe there's a chance because the previous cardiac overdrive one, so. He said Hog is already halfway into meta. Is Hog? I haven't seen much Hog. Yeah. Anyway, sorry, I might have stayed on this one. I might have stayed on this one for too long, but I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it or I don't know. Who knows? I just think this is going on the trend of what they're doing with tanks. I've talked about it since last season. They want tanks to go for backline more. They don't want tanks to hit tanks. And that's what the whole idea is. So. Yeah. Anyway, we'll see. Who knows? All right. It says the developer comment says increasing the duration of Mauga's burn effect will help better reward going for the smaller, harder to hit targets. Yeah. Exactly. Anyway, let's see. Your main issue with Mauga in lower ranks is that he just won't die. Exactly, but like I think like once going back to this, that this has nothing to do with that though, right? That's what I'm saying. I don't know. Well, okay, I've spent way too much time talking about a 1 second difference on ignite damage. And it's my fault. This is my fault. This is why I need to do Reddit reacts offline. Because like I did a Reddit react a couple weeks ago where there was a question that I ended up like doing exactly what the question said because I distracted myself so hard that I ended up talking about 7 different things besides the main question. So it's a me issue. I'll tell you that much. It's a me issue. Rowan, Thank you for the free Prime sub, and Katie, thank you for that free Prime sub. Thank you, appreciate it. Like I said, it's a me issue at that point. Oh, man. Oh, okay, let's head on to Ramattra now. I've heard Ramattra changes were really good from everything I heard. People were saying they're super happy with the Ramattra changes. Looks like Ramatra's going to be a must pick. All right. I'm going to be honest with you. An ad break's about to start in 5 seconds, so y'all want to wait? Let's wait. It said it was popping up. I don't see it now. Oh, there it is. Okay, cool. We're good. I'll wait. No, I'm memeing that, Ray, on that one. Let's talk about Mauga some more? I mean, we can. I mean, we have time here. All I'm saying is, like, I don't think... I get the meme about the micro buffs, because I meme about it all the time. I just think that's, like, the least of the... That will not make or break Mauga being meta. Mauga will become meta because of different reasons, not because of that buff. That buff makes no difference in that sense. It only incentivizes you to go for backline control, which is like, that is going to happen regardless, and even then, it's very niche. That's what I'm saying. Now we're going to go to Ramattra, which we'll read Ramattra now. Ads are done. Should be good. Everybody's good? All right. You said that's the primetime game? Yeah, exactly. Can't wait. Although Drake may look good. All right, so Ramattra. This one, okay. Let's read everything, and then I'll get my reaction. So you're not going to get a reaction right away out of me. I'm going to read everything, and then we're going to go from there. Shreddin, thanks for the 14 months of the Features Prime. Thank you. Appreciate it. Pummel no longer pierces barriers. Now deals 2.5 times more damage to barriers. Ramattra's pummel projectiles passing through barriers was a source of frustration for players trying to protect themselves or their allies. With these changes enabling Ramattra to deal critical damage to barriers, he will still be a valuable hero choice against barrier mechanics, but won't immediately apply damage to players on the other side. Okay, we're going to start with my initial reaction. Let's talk about everything to go here.
Gonna get micro buffed to hell.
Joe, thanks for the 15 months of tier 1. Oh, don't get me started on Mauga again. Thanks for the 15 months, Joe. I appreciate it. Yeah, I feel like this... I'm going to give my opinion now, and keep in mind, it could change in 2 weeks. And I say that in the sense of, like, I need to see how this plays. This just doesn't feel that good, does it? I just feel like this doesn't seem that fun for Ramattra. Like, I don't... Like, it's such an interesting concept, because one of the biggest issues in Overwatch 1 was that, like, players hated shooting shields. So now you, like, change a skill to just be good at shooting shields. But the problem is like, isn't that more of a problem of just reduce... Like, just nerf the pummel a little bit in different ways and then reduce shields more than it is like... It doesn't feel good. I don't know. I just feel like I just feel like playing a hero where, like, you just have to shoot a shield to... Like, you already do that, but... I don't know. It just feels like both the gameplay loop of Ramattra now, if you're playing against a shield character, is just to break shields. Right? It would be like a... You kind of have like a back and forth strategy. You go into... Out of Nemesis form, you shoot shields. You go into Nemesis form to finish off enemies or kill people behind. Now it's just like... It just doesn't feel like... It just doesn't... It feels kind of random. And so it's a random change because Rein, historically, maybe something changed over the past month, Rein is already a high win rate hero. For people wondering, the reason why you don't see many Rein changes across the board, as we see a Rein change below, that's like nothing, is because Rein wins. Rein wins games. Like, Rein just dominates games in a lot of ranks. Not necessarily top 500, right? That's different. Once again, whenever we talk about top 500 stuff, it's such a different part of the game that, like, you know, we can't be like, oh, but in OWCS, they tried running Rein and they had good success, but then Orisa won. Well, yeah, because, you know, an Orisa comp is really good and you have to get more value out of Rein. But we're not, most ranked games, even in top 500, are not OWCS matches. They're just not, okay? They're not OWCS matches, right? Like, it's going to be way different how that plays. So Rein is a hero that has historically been like a 60% win rate hero. Doesn't just like... I don't know if I'd go Ramattra now. Like, normally if I were going up against a Rein, I would go Ramattra. But if you told me, like, hey, you need to go Ramattra to be able to break the Rein shield easily to do backline pressure, like, dude, I'll be honest with you. Sometimes when I would play Ramattra, and once again, every rank plays differently, I go for a punch, and I do my gameplay loop is hold and right click. Right? That's my gameplay loop. Because I take so much damage. So, like, you look at this, you go, yeah, but you can break Rein shield quickly. Yeah, but, like, I don't know if Ramattras will be able to do much punch damage without just falling over. Especially after they slightly nerfed armor in the previous patch. So that's why I get confused by it. Like, Clearly, they've been playtesting it for a while. Maybe it's played really well. On paper, it seems like I don't see why I would want to go Ramattra to break shields. Once again, I gotta play the hero. I gotta see how it feels. But on paper, it feels bad. I don't know. That's what it feels like. But we'll see. I'll reevaluate it in 2 weeks. I'd rather give it a shot, see how it plays. But I don't like it because it just doesn't feel like I want to. I just wouldn't want to play Ramattra because I think playing Ramattra for me was. It was the counterplay of not countering the Rhine, but being able to be I can get value. I can get value. Dude, I can't even imagine what Ramatra's damage is going to look like now. People become such scoreboard watchers. Imagine now where you don't get any credit for doing shield damage on there. Dude, Ramatra's damage output is going to drop. Pummel will do 162.5 damage per shot against shields. Okay, so just so I can do the math here, you would need around 9 punches on Rhine Shield to kill it in full? Is this correct? So it's 9.2 shots to break a Rhine Shield. Okay. And what is it for Sigma? Yeah, I know if nobody else is shooting the shield, but if you've been in my rank games, there's a good chance nobody else is shooting the shield. Sigma's 4 or 5? With teammates shooting it. But the problem is that I don't know. I guess you could run past the shield more. That's what it is. That's what they're trying to do. I get it now. But I don't know if I like it. So what they're doing is, okay, this is what's happening. They're trying to keep it consistent with what they're doing here. So the Mauga change, how I mentioned, is going for backline pressure. They want you to run past. They just want you to run past. That's what they want you to do. So the trade-off is they're yeah, it's going to take you a lot of nemesis for him to kill that shield. So just run past them and go kill everybody in the backline. That's what they want you to do. They're just trying to get you to run past the Rhine shield without shooting it. That's what they're trying to do. Yep. You can see it because this is what the Mauga thing is. It's the same thing I talked about where this doesn't affect the tank matchup. This affects the tank matchup a little bit. They just want you to run past. But I don't know. I feel like Ramatra's better being able to go through shields. Otherwise, you're just taking away the whole part of the character that I don't know. It just doesn't sound fun to me. How many non-stop punches can you get in one nemesis form? That's a good question. Because if I have to kill a Sigma shield on my own, which sometimes you do, by the way. I know teammates can shoot shields too, and it's rank dependent, but chat knows. I try to get people to shoot shields, and they're nah, not my problem. So, and imagine the Rhine lets you run past and cuts off your team. That's terrible. But that's what their vision is here. Might be good for a Zarya shield. It's good for charging the Zarya, that's for sure. But yeah, we'll see. I gotta like I said, my initial take, I'm not a fan of it, and chat knows I'm usually pretty chill on that stuff. I'm not a fan of it. What I will say is we'll reevaluate in about 2 weeks. Maybe I'm wrong on this one, and it ends up being fun. The gameplay doesn't feel as bad. There's, Rhine Shield's a lot lower most of the time. I'm getting more value now. On paper, not a fan of it. I'll give it a couple weeks, and then we can reevaluate where I'm at then. Does that sound good? I just don't. I don't like to super overreact to a lot of stuff like that. I just need to see how it plays. Even though I think my initial reaction is I don't like it. Okay, I'm good. That's where I'm at with that. But I agree with that one. It feels like it makes the hero a lot less fun. I don't think the gameplay loop of incentivizing a character to shoot shields is a way to go about it. Because even a Bastion that can shred a shield runs out of turret form at a certain point. You're just kind of yay. You know what I mean? That Brig is gonna get annihilated. Little hot take on that. Not hot take, but wouldn't Brig get annihilated regardless because you could punch through the shield? If anything, this gives Brig an extra second of survivability because you can just bash away and then try to play your shield. Before you would just get punched by Ramattra and you'd fall over unless you got a really good play. I feel like this makes, even though it breaks the shield on Brig, you have an option now against a Ramattra. Before it was there's no option. You just have to hope that you can run away. Now you can at least shield up, boop them away, have more time in, more survivability. So, yeah, it feels like it just doesn't make the play style of Ramattra very good. Once again, it's so hard to say. But I actually know it. I think it's just going to be tough. We'll see. We'll see. Not a fan, is what I'm saying. Okay. Reinhardt, barrier field health reduced from 1,600 to 1,500. Okay, Ryan's still good. This is okay. They just said they did it for fine-tuning the barrier health and regeneration rate as it had become slightly too tough to break through. Okay. Sweet. Damage. Hanzo, base health increased from 225 to 250. Okay. Probably just a... Okay. Yeah. I mean, I think that's because... Is Genji at 250 still? It would make more sense if Genji's at 250 also. I can't remember. If Genji's at 250, then this change is fine. It's just keeping things consistent. Sojourn. Okay, this is a lot of stuff here. Sojourn, railgun. Energy no longer stops degenerating at 25 energy. Wait, so energy no longer stops degenerate. So you can lose your energy again now, right? Is that correct? Is that correct? Okay. So that's a different change. Time before energy degeneration begins increase from 7 to 12 seconds. So now you have a longer period of having it, though. Is this what I'm understanding here? So, like, now it's... You no longer stay at 25 energy, but you have a longer timer of having it. So from 7 to 12 seconds. So that seems just like a decent way of making it so, like, there's still a little bit of, like, you can't just sit there and camp 25 energy to be able to get yourself back to it quickly, but you can also have more time. It seems fine. Yeah, that's totally fine. Disruptor shot, damage per second increased from 60 to 80. Now generates 25% of damage done to enemy players as railgun energy. These railgun changes swap out the 25 minimum energy it decays for a longer time before it begins to degenerate, which alleviates some of the pressure to quickly use the secondary fire. Disruptor shot is getting a damage increase to help its effectiveness as an area denial tool. And along with the additional utility through generating a small amount of railgun energy to make it more broadly useful. So, does 80 per second now in Disruptor Shot. And then you also get 25% of the damage done to enemy players as railgun energy. So, is there a world where if you hit, like... Say you hit 3 players. I mean, this is just 240 damage. 25% of that is, like... So, you can almost get a full shot at, like, 70 energy or so? Why not? If you got the collateral, I don't know. I feel like it's a lot of damage though. Sojourn, dude, I see increased disruptor shot stuff with Sojourn, and I'm like, oh no, here we go again. But at the same time, I don't know what it was before. Like, what's the most disruptor shots been at? Because like, disruptor shot used to be like, is this the most it's ever been at? Oh, wait, no. I see now. Yeah. So that's interesting. We'll see. How much does the other damage do? Because I'm doing the wrong math here. I keep forgetting that Disruptor Shot is different than Railgun. So I wasn't even doing the right math there. So Railgun damage does how much damage? Yeah. Yeah, Disruptor Shot, like, now that I think about it, I was thinking of the wrong stuff here. So Disruptor Shot is just going to be the AoE damage. And then I see what's going here now. Okay, I see. Yeah, Sojourn's going to be good. I think Sojourn will be good. I was misunderstanding. There's a lot happening there. Yeah, Sojourn will be good. Yeah. I mean, that's that. I don't know if we'll be at, like, Sojourn Season 1 Overwatch 2 levels, but I definitely think Sojourn will be a little bit more relevant now. Which, I mean, finding the middle ground, I'm fine with. All right. What the heck is this? This is like a paragraph of changes. Sombra! Hack. No longer ends stealth, but does reveal Sombra. Okay. Hacked ability lockout effect duration reduced from 1.5 to 1 second. Okay. Bob hacked stun duration reduced from 10 to 3. Good change. Bob was useless against a Sombra. Stealth. No longer passive and now activates by using Translocator. So in order to get... Okay, wait. So in order to go stealth, you need to use Translocator. It only lasts for 5 seconds. Added stealth timer around the reticle and removed ability icon. Okay. Taking damage now reveals Sombra for 1 second instead of ending her stealth. So if you take damage, you're out of stealth for 1 second. So the way that it... Definitely not a lot. There's not going to be a lot of stealth uptime, regardless here. This isn't... Okay. And they made the cooldown on Translocator from 5 to 7 seconds. EMP ultimate cost increased by 12%. If they're doing this, they're doing some damage changes then. Opportunist, the Opportunist passive has been added back in. I forgot what that was. Increase Sombra's weapon damage versus hack targets by 20%. Okay, that's why they have the EMP cost. See critically injured enemies through walls. Okay, so just kind of going back to what they had. Doesn't this feel like this is just like a... I gotta see the numbers, but does this feel like a sometimes can stealth but worse Cassidy? Ads? I'll wait. I can just leave it here for a bit. We have plenty we can look at this for. We're chilling. She still has virus? Okay. So yeah, it's like you're like an assassin, but like you're not able to be an assassin. You have to be like like a Cassidy. So like you do a lot of damage. But like you also just are easier to kill. Is this correct? I mean, I'm a tank player. Listen, I do not. You want me to be real with y'all? I'm a tank player. I'm gonna be vibing. Okay? We'll see what... Yeah, exactly. I was going to say, there's going to be certain heroes that get rolled by this, but there's also going to be certain heroes that just roll Sombra now, even more so, which I guess is what they're aiming for. I'll read what they say in the dev comments once the ads are done. I got you. I think it encourages more DPS and less... Oh, yeah, 100%. I mean, that's what the whole idea is. It definitely... Keep in mind, this definitely changes Sombra. Like, there's no doubt about that. Like, this is a massive change, if I'm reading this correctly. But yeah. Flat said maybe a worse Tracer. I don't even know if I would do worse Tracer. I feel like the playstyles would... kind of like a... Because I feel like your playstyle is going to be like more with the team. I actually think like... I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Because like the thing is that if you want to go for backline assassin, you're also basically going for backline trades. You're basically going to get traded out if they pay attention. So it's like... Wouldn't you just spend more of your gameplay loop with the team? And then use it as like an escape if like it becomes an issue? More than like using it as like a go in their backline? Because in order to... There's a window here, right? Where you can only be stealth for 5 seconds. And then you're out of stealth for 2 seconds. But then if they shoot you, you're revealed for 1 second. So it feels like you'd be more involved in team fights, right? So that's why I'm like, I look at that, I go, I don't know if that's more of a... It feels like more of just a worse Cassidy than it feels like a worse Tracer. Right? Okay. So the ads are done. Needs to commit to the kills. Yeah, that's what it feels like. Wouldn't you play her more like Sombra 76 now? I don't think you have the range as Soldier. Maybe I'm wrong. I think you'd play like Cassidy range, right? Okay, let's read what this says now. Developer comments, this is a significant change to Sombra's playstyle in the hopes of making her more interactive for the opposing team and shifting some of her power from the utility of stealth and hack and increased lethality. Stealth having a limited duration, less than Translocator cooldown, is intended to create brief windows of vulnerability. It still enables Sombra to cross through dangerous areas unseen, but to really hang around in the enemy backline will require moving from cover to cover, similar to other flanking heroes. No longer having the stealth movement speed removed upon taking damage also enhances its usefulness as an escape tool. Yeah, I have no idea. I have no idea what to expect. I just need to see how Sombra plays. It feels like you would play more of a cast play style. Because you play the really close mid-range, But now you can just stealth. But then you could go for a kill in the back line. But you can also... Because Tracer, you're always kind of there, right? This one feels like you want to be more with your team. Because if you go into their back line, like, you can already kind of kill Sombra in the back line if Sombra gets kind of hecked up with their translocator. So now it feels like you're just all in if you go for backline pressure, right? Babbage, thanks for the 40 months for the Patreon friends. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you. So it's definitely... Hey, you know what? Widows won't have fun, right? If you find a Widow. I think I just need to see how Sombra will play here. Definitely feels worse, though. Which, as a tank player, I'm not going to complain about it. But obviously, if you play Sombra a lot, I'm sure the reaction from Sombra players is, huh? Right? That's probably the reaction. All right, well, there you go. There's your massive Sombra changes. I don't know. As a tank player, it feels great. Even then, I don't know. Maybe I take more damage and I just complained. I mean, I will complain anyway. I'm a tank, right? But yeah, I don't know. I don't really have a super strong like. I just have to see how it plays. All right. Support. BAP. Biotic launcher. Primary fire recoil reduced by 30%. Why? That doesn't even make any sense. This change is aimed at reducing the fatigue resulting from controlling the recoil over longer periods of play, more than trying to add power to Baptiste's primary fire. Well, this is gonna suck in top 500 because I already play against DPS Baps. I don't know, this is random. See, this is a micro buff. Okay. See, chat, y'all wanted to say that this is going to make Mauga meta? No one said that. I just needed to go with my story here. Okay? This is something that basically, that's a micro buff. Okay? Deep Coat, thanks for the 6 months of the feature prize. Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay, that's a micro buff. And Cosmic Cat, thanks for the 2 months of the tier 1. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks. Okay? Well, I was going to say, I don't think the BAP recoil is that bad, but it's, you know, I think, like, anytime we've, like, watched, like, a BAP spectating or, like, I play BAP, the first thing I go is, dude, the fatigue from controlling my recoil is getting to me here as BAP. We need to fix this. Right? So I'm glad that they were able to address that. All right? So it's good to see that. All right. So there's that. Yeah, that's just a micro buff. Brig, repair pack, cooldown increase from 5 to 5.5. Oh, man, this is my 70% win rate hero. And, oh. Brigitte's Halen output over the course of a match is quite high, so this is just a slight adjustment to help bring that in line. I don't think this will change much, but I could be wrong. Brig is still going to be good. And it's the burst healing that makes it so good, not the cooldown, but the burst heal is still going to be good. I don't think it changes much. I think Brig's fine. I could be wrong. I don't think it changes much. So, you said the gray hair. So you talking about my gray hair? Yeah, I have a little bit of silver or gray, whatever you want to call it. I'm 34. I played 30 games of rank today. It was bound to happen. All right. And then Juno. Meta Blaster. Fall off range reduced from 30 to 50 meters to 20 to 35 meters. Healing per projectile is reduced from 6.5 to 6. Juno's healing output is too high for how much mobility she possesses, so we're shortening her fall-off range to increase the importance of positioning well with her mobility abilities. Doesn't feel that fun. Fall-off range, I mean, that's a huge meter difference for fall-off range. It feels like, right? Yeah, it definitely is. Healing per projectile, I mean, that's okay. Like, it's definitely going to be less, but because keep in mind, Juno has a burst heal, so like I get that. But the fall off range is going to feel bad. I think that's going to feel bad for Juno, but we'll see. Okay. Well, there's your patch notes for balance. I'll look at the rest of the stuff here in a second. It's an interesting... Okay, this has been an interesting balance patch because I don't... It feels like they just addressed a bunch of stuff that I wasn't even, like, thinking about. You know what I mean? Like, it just feels like this one, Sombra we knew was coming because they mentioned it, like, previously in something. It was like a blog post or something. Or like a tweet or something like that. But, like, everything else kind of just, like, it just feels like it just kind of did stuff. Like, the Ramattra change was out of left field. Sombra change, like I said, we kind of expected that. Juno, I expected a healing reduction. I think if they just did this, it would have been fine. Like, see this right here? Like, if they just did the healing per projectile was reduced, I think that would have been fine. Right? Because you're just getting rid of some of the burst heal, which is fine. This part is the part that just is going to feel bad, I feel. I feel for Juno players, it probably just feel bad. Because, like, it just, like, when you change your range that, like, significantly, it just feels, I don't know, maybe I'm overthinking it. We'll see. So, anyway. But we'll see how it all feels. I mean, I get not doing a ton of balance stuff because, like, balance, I mean, and this will be a hot take from people, maybe from me, but I don't think the balance is that bad. I think people talk about the balance being terrible all the time, but then, like, the solution is, oh, I don't know, the solution is just got to make it better. But, like, when you have 42 heroes or 41 heroes, like, it's not as simple as every hero's balanced. It just takes a lot of back and forth. But I don't know. I don't. Yeah, I was gonna say fall off nerfs are more of an issue, but balance hasn't been too bad. There's a lot of hero variety. You can play a lot of different stuff. You know, once again, you got to remember that top 500 also has a very different play style to stuff. So a lot of time you'll see like top 500 players, and obviously we're in top 500 talking about things that are strong, meta, etc. But it doesn't necessarily mean that's the whole game, too. So it's one of those things. We'll see how it feels. That's where I'm at. We'll just see how it feels, and we'll go from there. Does that sound good? The Ramattra change wasn't a fan of. Sombra, I have no clue. Sojourn seems fine. Sojourn change is good. Keeping that in mind. I like the Sojourn change. I don't know how it will feel. I'll tell you how it feels in a couple weeks. I'll see how it feels in a couple weeks. All right. Nothing about Orisa. I'll be honest. So I can explain why they didn't do any changes to Orisa if people want to know. Orisa has one of the lowest win rates in all Overwatch. That's why. Orisa has one of the lowest win rates. So what they're doing now is they've recognized. So previously, a year ago, they would have buffed Orisa. They would have 100% buffed Orisa a year ago. What they're recognizing now, and it's just, I think it's given them opportunity to take a look at this. People are gonna not like playing against certain heroes, and unless their kit changes, that won't change. So rather than look at purely win rates and be like, hey, we need to buff Orisa because Orisa has a 42% win rate right now, they go, you know what? People want to play Orisa, they can play Orisa. Orisa isn't as good as Orisa plays in overall ranked. Orisa is really strong in pro play because of a lot of survivability and, like, you know, your ability to do stuff. So they don't change Orisa. That's why. Because Orisa's win rate is really bad. So they don't want to balance off of win rates. And then, like, Orisa in top 500 is good for different reasons than why Orisa would be good in silver for different reasons. Does that make sense? Zara, thanks for the tier 1. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks. So that's why I'm saying that. That's why there's no Orisa changes. Because of that exact reason. So, that's why you don't see the changes. Doesn't mean that, you know, obviously I'm going to, first of all, Vigilant, anytime you say that they're lazy, that is completely incorrect. I see people say that sometimes. There's the exact opposite of what they are. So I'm just telling you that for any game. That's the wrong way to word that. And like you said, you just said stop looking at win rates and play the game, but, like, I just explained that they could have balanced Orisa off win rates. That's what I was, and they didn't. All right, fair enough. They didn't. So yeah. But yeah. Anyway, Ramattra change definitely out of left field. Sombra change, have to see how it plays. Yeah. Brig, all this stuff's fine. Bap, that's just random. Juno, I don't like the fall off range reduced, or maybe not as aggressive. Hanzo is what it is there. Sojourn, wait and see. Ramattra, once again, not a fan. Mauga, this doesn't really bother me. Does that seem good? I wouldn't call it that, by the way, Claridge. I think it's okay to like be like, okay, you're right. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's fine. You know what I mean? Okay, so we're done with we looked at all the balance changes. Definitely different. Definitely different. Any of my game code stuff's my Discord. I would recommend do not submit any codes today. I'm just gonna save people time. Do not submit any codes until after 2 p.m. today, because the replay codes are gonna reset and we won't be able to get to anything. So if you have a code right now that you were thinking of submitting, do not do it. The codes break. I cannot watch previous patch codes. They get rid of them. They wipe. Okay? Anything on Ryan? Just a shield. Is 1,500 instead of 1,600. All right, let's look at some of the Clash updates here. I'm going to be honest with y'all, chat. There's a lot of words here, and I just hope Clash plays better. Are we cool with this? We all in agreement? Everybody good? I don't... Like, I'm going to be honest with y'all. Everything looks good. You know what? It's great. I'll let you know how it feels. You said it took them like 45 minutes to understand their section. I look at this and I just go, that's the section. Things get better, changes, capture time increases, so it's easier, and Clash will play better, hopefully. We good? I'll play it and tell you how it feels. I can read this and I will still misunderstand it to a whole key. Here, I'll read the dev comments. We wanted to reduce the number of one-sided stomps occurring in Clash game mode. We also want to address the difficulty of securing at least one segment on the final objective point as attackers. So we tweaked the capture time for the defendant team to make the fight for objective points B and D a bit more favorable for attackers. Okay, cool. Yeah, we'll see how it feels. All right, there you go. Individual map ones. We kind of know this stuff, so I don't think I need to look at the individual map updates. Obviously, Circuit Royale's getting changed. Dorado, you know, they've talked about this stuff. Like, I don't need to get too into this one. Everything seems cool here. Havana, Circuit Royale, Dorado. This Nambani one, they didn't really show this in the video, but the attacker's initial spawn room has been pushed a lot closer. This one's the intriguing one to me, is like seeing where this goes, right? Like how that plays. Lowered some high ground around first point. Interesting. Easier access flank. We saw that. Combined the paths. So, I don't know. Third point. On second. Third point. They relocated the pesky sign and removed a tree. And I think we were all hoping for that. So, yeah, that's about it. I mean, that's it. And then bug fixes. Here you go, chat. For anybody waiting to get their gold weapons, fixed a bug that caused some players to be able to purchase gold weapons. There you go. Fixed a bug with the voice chat devices. Okay, yep. And fixed a bug with the achievement. BAP fixed the zombie emote. Sigma could not gain overhealth for Juno's Medi Blaster. I did notice that. I actually remember pointing out specifically, I'm like, why would I even overeat that? And then they already fixed Reaper. You know the only thing I don't see on here that's disappointing? The only thing I don't see here that's disappointing to me, though? They didn't fix the replay bug. I hope they fix it. I hope it's just like an unadded patch note, but like the support replay bug thing is awful. Like I'm still going to watch I'm going to go back to watching replay code stuff, but like it feels... What's the replay bug? I can't see health bars. So when you like spectate like a support, you can't see the enemy health bar unless you look at or like your teammate's health bar. So this is basically yesterday they posted this as a developer update, Halloween Terror, map rework, system updates, and more. So let's see. Here we go. Volume level's good, chat.
A billion degrees in here right now.
No AC.
Yeah, and it feels great. Hey, it's Aaron from the Overwatch team, and we're back with another developer update. The Season of Spellbinders is Overwatch's lucky number 13 season, and we're looking forward to sharing some of the tricks and treats we have for you at launch. I'll walk us through some of the reworks coming to a few of our core maps, and then I'll pass it to my teammates Cynthia Lee and Angelica Silva to cover updates to our in-game systems and our enchanting seasonal mythic skin. But before we jump into those topics, I am thrilled to announce Halloween Terror is back at Season 13 launch with Wrath of the Bride and an all-new game mode, Junkenstein's Laboratory. In this mode, our heroes have mutations that you can choose from to enhance their abilities and change their gameplay characteristics. For example, You could upgrade
Ramattra nerfs, I'll
Orissa's
have to see
ability
everything when that
Javelin
comes.
Spin to propel her off the ground and take flight.
I mean, that's
Or
cool.
maybe you queue up damage and choose to upgrade Genji's Deflect to protect yourself 360 degrees from all directions. You could upgrade Moira by bending Coalescence to your will to be purely healing or purely damage. We all know which one you're going to pick.
Well, yeah,
Whatever
that's
you
easy.
decide, we want you to have a great time customizing and trying new things with your upgrades. The purpose of this mode is to put the power in your
I wanna
hands
see something with this
to
too.
decide how you build out and customize your hero's talents. We can't wait to see what shenanigans and strategies you uncover in Junkenstein's laboratory.
Wow.
So be sure to jump into this brand new game mode and
Great
let
job,
us know
Aaron.
what you think.
All right, so I do want to point out, why do I have a feeling that eventually the game will have this option as like a real thing. And I've talked about it a little bit where you can start to see that they're doing a lot more tests on like talents and like being able to like expand on your character. It just feels like eventually they're going to add this stuff to the game. And I'm honestly, I'm not against it as long as it's like good, because having like a little bit of customization, like for example, like you see how Orisa was able to get mobility with like that javelin spin. You could see that being a real thing in game where you give like an option of like, okay, you're gonna lose a certain part of your kit to be able to do this. Like I would not doubt it that they're gonna eventually go down the route of adding that type of stuff to the game. Like I would not doubt it. Like have it be like you have options and talents, because remember they did the quick play hacked, right? Now they're doing a Halloween event mode that people can try out that will get more people trying it. So it definitely feels like that's something in the future they might add to the game. And yeah, I'm talking like for like the actual game. I would not doubt it. I would not doubt it. Yeah, like you remove fortify for more mobility, things like that. But that's what it feels like. It feels like they want to add something like this in the future to give more customization to your character. For example, let's say you get a map where like Sim isn't as good on, but you can give, there's a way to give Sim like a different style that can make Sim more of a mid-range hero that, allows for you to still play the hero, right? Things like that in general. So anyway.
Alrighty. Shifting gears into some of the other changes this season, let's talk through some of our map reworks.
Okay.
Dorado, Numbani, Circuit Royale, and Havana all have reworks at season launch.
I'm excited for
And
that.
one of the main goals behind all these changes is to address balance across the maps for both attackers and defenders.
Yep.
But let's get into a few of the specific changes. For Dorado, we're reducing harsh defender lines of sight to prevent spawn camping.
So I never really talked about like this a little bit. I never looked at the map rework stuff. But like, I love the elevator here, and I'll explain why. Let me show you.
Reducing harsh defender lines of sight.
Someone said there's ads. I can wait. I'll talk a little bit about it, but like, I love the elevator here. Like, because people look at that and they go, why is that there? But a lot of people camp that roof, and that's what leads to like really hard spawn camps. Because you can never kill the tank above you, top left. So giving players the option to take away that angle is really cool. And on top of that, it gives you a high ground that really isn't as dominant. So what I mean by that is when you're playing Dorado, right, and you get here, you can't get high ground anywhere, right? You have to either take the route behind. You probably can't see my mouse. My mouse does this thing on the monitor. But you would take the route all the way behind and go high ground, or you'd have to go like this long route. This roof now allows you to contest the high ground, have cover, and also remove that high ground. That's what I really like about the change to even first point here. It's very subtle, but like it actually helps with a lot of issues on first point, which I think a lot of attackers, and the reason why you get held here a lot is because you can't do that. So you said you don't really like where it's going, to be honest. Removing identities on both maps and heroes isn't the best way to balance the game. I mean, the counter argument to that it could be is like, you shouldn't load into a map and then be like, oh, well, no one's hero pool fits this. We're now at the, we're at the mercy of the server admin Widow. You know what I mean? So while it can take away a little bit of like, oh, this is a dive-based map, it also removes a lot of the issue of like, you have to be good at the sniper hero to really dominate on this map. You know what I'm saying? So like, while it can take away a little bit of like making it a dive-centric map, you can still play dive in this map, right? Like you can still play dive. You don't look at this map and go, oh, dive's dead, right? Dive still exists. It just takes away a little bit of, it being a dive map, but you can still play dive.
To prevent spawn camping. We also added a new staircase in Area 2.
Now, if chat's been watching my stream, people for years know that this has been a suggestion I've had for years. The stairs over here, where you need easier access to this part of the map, because making players want to go on the outside of the map. People in top 500 don't want to go to the top, go to the right side. But anyway, yeah, a lot of times on the map, like players from top 500 all the way down to bronze don't want to go the far right. So I always wanted the newer way to do this. New high ground is way lower than before, right? Looks like it based off of what I'm seeing. Yes, I could double check though, just to look.
To prevent spawn camping. We also added a new
Looks like it, but let me see.
Staircase in Area 2.
It's hard to say. It could be. I don't know. It might be, yeah. It looks like it is, which I'm okay with that too. A little bit less of a dominant high ground, but still pretty good. Once again, these are all like on paper. I see this stuff and I go, okay, this looks cool, but I gotta play it too, right? Like there's a reaction of, oh yeah, I see what you're saying. Look at the house on the thing. Good call on that one. So I would say like the reaction I'll have initially is this is what I feel like it will be. I need to play it too. I could play it, it could feel worse, or I could play it and it feels a ton better. Do you know what I'm saying? So I'll have initial reaction and then I'll have actual reaction when I get to play it. Doesn't this help Winston a lot? I mean, this helps everybody a lot. Like, being able to have high ground access here is such a good part for the overall game. Once again, there's going to be arguments of like, oh, it's making it, get rid of some of this and making the map easier for people, etc. Like, yeah, you're right. That's fine.
That makes the high ground more accessible for attackers. Additionally, we shortened some flank.
Love this. This part's super underrated. Once again, solving the sightline issues. This is to make it so Widow is funneled to like a little bit of spots where you can look for. This gets rid of some of the guessing game of Dorado. Which once again, there'll be arguments back and forth in that. Like I said, I think like you might see arguments of like, oh, it makes this stuff easier, etc. I still think that's okay. I think the good players are still going to be really good. I think this helps players across all ranks. But the cover here is really good because it helps players play that way if you want to go that way. But what it also does is it allows for you to like have an idea of where a Widow could play. This happens on Junkertown 2 now, right? Where the Widow has to take a little bit more aggressive angle so you know where the Widow's at, but the Widow still has good cover. So it helps with the Widow cover, but it also helps know where the Widow probably will be. Does that make sense? And that's what I like about it. Is like it helps. The Widow gets help, but also playing against the Widow helps because of that idea. All initial reaction to this stuff. And keep in mind, I never looked at the map reworks
and adjusted cover placements around the whole map.
I like that.
With New Bonnie, we simplified the capture point in Area 1 and made it more.
Love this. This is going to allow for much more boops when everybody tries to take this rotation. So now your teammates can fall off the map together. Before it was a little bit suspect because nobody wanted to go up that back hall. Now as a team, you can all get booped off over here, which is nice. It adds that extra option for the team. I mean, real talk, I do like the idea of this. It makes it a little bit easier, but I'm telling you right now, chat, people are going to discover these stairs for the first 2 weeks, and I want you all to look at that kill feed top right, because I'm telling you, people are going off the map. I am telling you right now, if people take this route, they are going off the map. It's going to be great. I do like it, though. I mean, it adds a little bit of, like, more of an option for the attacker, but you need to control this part of it.
More accessible to the attacking team. We also added a defender forward spawn in Area 3 to make it easier for defenders to get back to the payload as it's moving through Area 2.
Oh, okay, I like that. I didn't know that.
Area 3 also saw some changes to various angles and...
Ooh, wait a second. This is interesting. This one is cool.
To make it easier for defenders to get back to the payload as it's moving through Area 2.
What about this?
Area 3 also saw some changes to various...
Ooh, I kind of like this, because this allows for you to strategically... Does this go to mask? That connects to mask. I like that.
Routes. On Circuit Royale,
I like that.
We made adjustments to combat spawn camping across all 3 areas. The first attacker's spawn has been adjusted to reduce spawn camping with...
By the way, the reduced spawn camping here, they get rid of the sight line. If you look towards spawn doors, you can see they added the spawn door up there. They added the little like pillar in the middle, but they also got rid of the stairs here, so the defender can't actually push up there and like camp that area, right? If you want to camp that like high ground area, you need to like either go up the stairwell, right? Is that a stairwell that connects behind the car? That's what it looks like, right? I can't tell though. I haven't looked at all the images.
With added cover and by removing the stairs that overlook the spawn doors. Yeah. Flank options were also added in Area...
This I love, by the way. This right here is great.
Area 1,
a flank option to left side.
Defenders on high ground.
That is great.
And in Area 2 for attackers to take the rear high ground.
Ooh, okay. Great choices here, both of these. I love these. Because this spot up here, by the way, was all... You see that spot where it says like... Does it say like Mason or something there? That spot right there is really strong, but nobody wants to go there because it's like really hard to get to, because you have to go to the to give you an idea, there's an adjacent or a parallel or whatever you want to call it. To the right is another stairwell. So you actually have to go into the defender side of their map to be able to get that high ground. And by the time, if you have that part of the map, you're not getting any value, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you already have that control, that means you already pushed to where it would matter to be able to use those sight lines. So that helps with, like, getting to those spots.
In Area 3, sightlines were improved to help attackers poke at the defenders in the final area.
It looks like, actually, let me look at one thing here.
In Area 3, sightlines were improved to
Ooh, it looks like the third point here also has more of a corner to go to,
help
but it's easier
attackers
to
poke at the defenders in the final area.
Yeah.
And lastly, for Havana, we adjusted high ground access and spawn room pathing to reduce spawn camping.
I don't even have to pause
New
that.
routes and scale adjustments have been added to Area 2.
I like this.
And finally,
this is the most
blocked
important
lines
part.
of sight and cleaner navigation in the final
I gotta see this again.
To Area 2. And finally, blocked lines of sight and cleaner navigation
Love that. So you get rid of the line of sight on the angles here. And there's also a spawn door added
in the
there,
final
right?
area should give both teams a variety of smoother options when
that.
approaching the final point.
Be
We're
fun to
looking
play
forward
those
to seeing you play through these reworks and hearing what you think. Next up, my teammate Cynthia is going to share some pretty cool updates to our in-game competitive systems and defense matrix.
Ooh, competitive systems? What do we got? Where'd he go?
Thanks, Aaron. Hey guys, I'm Cynthia Lee, a UI UX designer at Blizzard, working on defense metric for Overwatch. I'll be walking you through the UI update I've been working on and share the competitive update from my awesome teammate on the system design team. As we keep finding better ways to tackle disruptive behavior, we're pumped to roll out a new feature that's gonna make reporting a whole lot quicker, especially for those of you on console. We've revamped the scoreboard to be more interactive with a fresh UI that makes it super easy to report and mute players. So now, when you bring up the scoreboard, you will see a new options to
Yeah. You gonna feed in my games now? You gonna feed in my games now? You guess what? I'm reporting you mid-team fight. All right? Mid-team fight. You do anything I don't like, mid-team fight, you're getting that report, okay? And you know what? We'll check off the cheating box. You want to know why? Because you're cheating my SR. All right? I should be getting SR here. All right? That's it. I mean, obviously, this is a great option. Like, this is a great addition, right? Like, I think there's... Am I seeing this correctly, by the way? Is there going to be, like... Didn't they mention, like, add-in volume sliders? Is that involved here, too?
Report players right there. This is a bit different from our normal report flow. It's a quick report that only takes a few seconds. No need to type in reasons, and you can pick and submit multiple report options all at once, handling everything in one go. We are really excited about this because it makes an essential feature even more accessible. Reporting is key to tackling disruptive behavior and cheating in game, so please do your best to report when the offense happens or as soon as you're able.
To point out, the reason why they want you to do that is because when you join the game, you notice how it says like your game's recorded. Because a lot of their system is automated, which I mean that part, you know, it would be with how many reports there are. Like you're gonna have systems like that. It helps to get it like down to the T. So that's why they want to have a quicker reporting system, because what probably happens is a lot of players, like somebody will be aimbotted, but they'll report them after the game. So they want to get players to be more in the mindset of like, when things are happening, immediately report so the system can pick up on it. Otherwise it may not catch what's supposed to be. So like if you report somebody at the end of a game and like their system only goes back 2 minutes, they may not be able to know, it may not be able to find that and be like, nope, nothing happened here. So that's why they think they want to add a much easier option on that one. So
with this update, you will also have more control over which text and voice channel you're in.
Oh, it's there?
Yes, that includes adjust you and your teammates' mic volumes.
Finally! We can finally adjust volumes on people's mics. That part should have been... Oh, finally. I've been asking for it forever, because, like, I mean, I'm loud, too, so listen, people are probably going, heck yeah, dude, I got him in my games, now I can turn that volume down real quick. But, like... I just love the idea of being able to do that, because you can't get the same volume for everybody. You know what I mean? Strawberry, thanks for the 2 months of the Phoenix Prime, so thank you. So getting rid of that is fine. You said more clutter? The last thing I look at is clutter with that. They just added easier options. I don't know. I get it, but I don't know. It doesn't bother me. Oh, man.
For competitive, there are updates this season for top 500 qualifications.
What does that mean?
We are adding a new requirement to qualify for any top 500 leaderboard. From now on, Player will need to have 750 game in any competitive mode
Okay.
to complete these specific challenges. This is all about making sure new or inactive account don't snag those spots from our current active players.
I love that.
As we roll out some of these changes.
I love that. Is ads? I can pause on the ads. I can pause on the ads. Yeah, I love that actually. So like obviously like I would love there to be a bit more changes. I don't think it will alleviate the camping issue. I think it will get rid of as many campers. Does that make sense? So that's a step in the right direction. I'll pause for ads. I'm fine with that. We're chilling. So here's the way I see it. The leaderboard's been taken up by a bunch of alts because of a multi. There's many reasons here, but basically players log on alt accounts because of queue times. At a certain point, what happens is you have this rotation where the leader, as you get into the top 100, even further down, the queue times get a lot longer because players log on alts. Now, that's multiple reasons. One could be the queue times. Number two could be they just want to camp their rank. A lot of players like to camp their rank. They're like, oh, I made it to rank 5. I'm not playing. That's it. I'm done for the season. I'm going to go log on 6 alt accounts. They're going to rotate through top 500. I'm going to take up all the top 5. So what this does is this makes it so there will be players with 750 wins. You'll be surprised. There will still be people that have like a lot of wins and will still be able to camp the ladder, but this alleviates a lot of the issue of this alleviates. There's going to be more top 500 spots, basically, is what this does. It will, believe it or not, this will open up a good amount of top 500 slots. I don't think it will alleviate the camping issue. I think that's an issue they still need to tackle eventually, because I still think when you have a leaderboard that is like incentivizes the idea of not playing, that's a problem. But like this is a step in the right direction, right? I think this is a great step in the right direction because this is going to be no, it's not 750 wins per season. So there's an achievement to get 750 wins. So what this is doing is it's telling you that you need to get the 750 wins. Does that make sense? Like you basically need to have 750 wins in competitive to be able to like achieve top 500. Which most players, if you're playing on your own account, like if you're playing on your main account, you're doing all that, etc., you'll probably have 750 wins, right? Like it's basically based off of what I see average on the ladder. It would take players that play in top 500 a ton about, I don't know, 6 seasons, give or take, to be able to get the 750 wins if you're playing at the average of what I see. Might even be less than that. But, you know, it's going to alleviate a lot of the problems where it could help with queue times because players will feel less obligated to log on an alt. Players will feel if their account isn't there. Some players, you'll still have an issue there, but like it alleviates some of the problem, is what I'm saying. It's a step in the right direction that I'm happy with. Chat knows when it comes to top 500, I've been very... there's a few things we're vocal with Overwatch. It's top 500 where it just feels like they've left the ladder system is so outdated that like it isn't as exciting as it could be. Waze Plays, thanks for the 4 months of the feature schmism. Thank you. So I love the idea of this, and I think that's really, really cool that they're adding that there. So it's a good option. It's definitely a good option. I still think you'll see players playing alts. I think you'll still have players playing alts regardless because of that issue, but overall, it should help a bit, especially with it being such a niche issue that I'm glad they were able to address half of it. Granted, we'll see how it goes. Could still feel terrible, could feel better, but we'll see. I definitely like the change though. It's definitely a good change. That doesn't like hurt the ladder. It just makes it a little bit better. So I'll show you in a minute what I mean.
We're excited for you to try them out and hope they will improve your in-game experience. Finally, let's get into our upcoming Mythic cosmetics with Angelica. Hey, Angelica. Hi. Oops. Okay.
Bye. Bye. Hey guys, my name is Angelica Silva, and I'm a VFX artist on the Overwatch 2 team, and we've been brewing up something magical and a little supernatural. Our mythic skin this season is Spellbinder Widowmaker. Spellbinder walks the line between whimsical and gothic. Our concept artist wanted to portray Widowmaker as a potion student adorned with a magical array of elixirs on her belt. At level 1, we have the base mythic skin.
Some people have accounts.
At level 2, players will unlock additional accessories and the first hat variation. Level 3 includes Widowmaker's cape, a second hat variation, and the blue colorway. And finally, level 4 gives you access to the upgraded cape, the last hat variation, and the red colorways.
Nice.
Along with the skin, we gave Widowmaker's abilities a magical overhaul. You'll be able to cast your most powerful spells during a match, like her Venomine, which damages her enemies with otherworldly poisons and sparkles. Her bullets are now overflowing with magic, with a new muzzle flash featuring new textures and particles, one of them being a new rune. This will allow her to cast her most powerful ability,
that was cool to me.
Sniper Shot. Unlike other witches who use brooms, Widowmaker conjures a magical grappling hook that has new textures designed around the theme of the kit. With the power of magic, you too can bewitch your enemies before you strike. Season 13 is brimming with tricks, treats, and talents that we can't wait to see you uncover in game. Whether it's exploring new maps, competing for a spot on the leaderboards, or mixing and matching hero talents in the new Halloween mode, make sure you jump in game when Season 13 launches on October 15th.
Which is today.
We hope you've enjoyed this look
chat.
into things that we've been brewing, and as always, please continue to share your thoughts with us. And we look forward to the next developer update. See you in game.
Thanks, Aaron.
Junkenstein's Laboratory.
Scary Thunder!
I wasn't very scared there, was I?
You were
Startled?
You took it real cool.
Stein's Laboratory.
Scary Thunder!
Laboratory.
Scary Thunder!
Laboratory.
Scary Thunder.
Someone should be behind me, you know, with like an air horn or something.
As we, okay. Okay.
I love the bloopers they do.
Nice to meet you. I'm Angelica Silva from the
Bending coalescence.
For top 500 qualification. Okay.
Heroes have mutations.
Upcoming cosmetic. Oh, Mythic cosmetic with Angelica. Sorry, that was a mistake. Is that okay?
What does that even mean to talk spookier? Ooh.
So that was a good developer update. What was that? Those are the YouTube ads I get. I don't know what those are, to be honest with you.